Welcome to another WLRN live stream. I'm Thistle Pettersen, and Women Speak Florida are going to represent in Florida today in Jacksonville. And I'm going to bring Jade, aka the deaf bartender, on. Welcome, Jade.
Hi, love. How are you?
It's a beautiful sunny day in Wisconsin here at WLRN Studios. What's the weather like down there in Jacksonville?
The weather it actually feels really great, but it's really, really windy. If you can see our flag, which is wrapped around a tree, it looks like we need to start relatively quickly. Our first speaker is going to be Shelby. You ready? Let's go.
Hello. Transgender ideology affects everyone. When you live in a society bound by laws which are written with words, the words we use matter. The things we allow to become acceptable in society matter. When boundary violation and boundary erasure becomes the norm in society, it does affect everyone, namely women and children. And by boundary violation and boundary erasure, I mean men in women's restrooms. I mean men in women's locker rooms. Men in women's sport. Men in women's rape shelters. Men in disabled and elderly women's caretaker positions. Men in women's advertising. Little girls receiving double mastectomies as young as 12 years old, as admitted from Kaiser Permanente. Children being chemically sterilized and put on dangerous doses of cancer-causing wrong-sex hormones before they're even old enough to vote. Children having their possibility for sexual function as an adult taken as a child. People love to take a libertarian stance on this issue and claim it's not hurting me, it's not hurting anybody, let people live. People love to hate on Florida and several other states for creating legislation to make changing a child illegal. But what do these people actually know about puberty blockers? Do they know that the most common puberty blockers is Lupron, which has historically been used to chemically castrate high-risk sex offenders? Do they know that puberty blockers are not reversible? If a child's natural years of puberty fall between the ages 10 and 16, and they are started on puberty blockers at 10 or stage 2 of puberty, which is around age 10, and they continue these blockers until age 15, then they change their mind. Guess what? They get 1 year of puberty. This puberty does not magically happen at a faster rate just because those 5 years were blocked. That's it. The time is gone. It is not reversible.
Thank you. There's no turning back.
That person will be stuck with genitalia resembling that of an 11, 10-year-old for the rest of their life. And they will never have the ability to orgasm. Marcy Bowers, a celebrated gender surgeon who is a man who pretends to be a woman himself, has stated that every child he's seen put on puberty blockers at 10 or stage 2 of puberty has never achieved an orgasm as an adult. What does he gain? He is a gender surgeon. This is his industry, and that's what he said. Does anyone truly believe children can consent to this? No, Florida is not evil for protecting children from this, and it's actually quite evil that this is becoming such a common practice in other areas of the United States. If you have family outside of Florida, especially with children, please make them aware that what the public is being sold about puberty blockers and trans children is lies. No child is trans. No one is born in the wrong body.
No one.
It is not any more kind to agree that a man is a woman than it is to agree that someone with severe anorexia is obese. Where did this all come from anyway? Autogonophiles. Back in the 70s, there was a book written called The Transsexual Empire. In this book, she describes how the transgenders, which were then called transsexuals, how their movement was started, which was mostly straight, white, homophobic men who had a sexual fetish for dressing themselves as a woman and being attracted to themselves this way. This fetish is called autogonophilia. Side note, in this book, she also, which was, like I said, written in the 70s, she predicted one day there would be transsexual clinics for children because these men would eventually push this fetish onto children in order to validate it and claim it as real and inherent from birth. People said that was crazy, that would never happen. Today, there are dozens and dozens of pediatric transsexual clinics across North America, but we now know them as transgender. Because if you describe a child as transsexual, it begins to raise too many red flags. A sanitation of the language, just like how they call double mastectomies top surgery. Anyway, back to autogynephiles. As I said, many of them were actually homophobic men, and they did not want gay men in their circles. These men were straight. These men were straight and attracted to women, and that's why they had this fetish for womanhood to begin with. However, when these men started to see the success of the gay rights movement in the 80s and how gay people were making their place in society rightfully, they wanted the same thing for themselves. Cue the 40-year slow drip of autogynephiles infiltrating the gay rights movement into something exclusively about themselves. Nobody cares about the LGB anymore. That's old news. Boring. It's all about the TQ plus now. And the TQ plus tells the LGB that if they don't date trans-identified people, then they're transphobic, even if these people are technically the opposite sex. They've come the homophobic full circle to telling gay people that women can have penises, and if a lesbian doesn't like that, then she's transphobic. Now the infiltration of this fetish into society has created many unintended consequences. Most notably, a huge wave of young women, many of whom are autistic, lesbian, or both, now believe they can opt out of womanhood and sexualization by taking testosterone and cutting off their breasts. This is not kindness, and nobody can change their sex. What even is the difference between a man and a trans woman anyway? What exactly happens between a man saying he's a man and saying he's a woman that people suddenly believe he's not a man? This never was about changing one's sex to begin with. It was about a fetish, and it has spiraled absolutely out of control. We now have over 300 men in women's prisons across the U.S., many of which are there for sexual assault crimes to begin with. 48.5% of the over 900 male inmates that identify as women in American federal prisons are there for sexual offense crimes, versus just 11.2% of regular men being there for the same crime. Their type of crime does not automatically bar them from being transferred into a women's prison. We have little girls crying, testifying to their school boards that they don't want boys in their bathrooms. We have women being knocked out by male athletes in their own sports. Blindly accepting any of this is not kindness. It is time for the adults to step back into the room, to pay attention to what your kids are doing on the internet, to educate yourself on this issue and take the offensive before your child comes to you saying they're trans. Do not allow yourself to be blindsided by this, and do not underestimate how trendy this is amongst teenagers. No one is born in the wrong body. Men cannot be women. Puberty blockers are not reversible. Lying and gaslighting is not kindness. Biology is not negotiable. If anybody is interested in learning more, please check out redux.info, RDUXX.info. Check out the Whose Body Is It podcast by Isabella Malvin. Check out the Same Drugs podcast by Megan Murphy. Watch Kelly J. Keen's Let Women Speak documentary and events. And if you agree with me, never, ever, ever allow yourself to be bullied into silence. Thank you. All right, somebody hold up next. Hi, I'm Muffin. And we were speaking about males and female prisons. First, I would like to really just say that we as women really need to start saying no to self-ID, and we really need to speak to our representatives about speaking out about no self-ID. The more that a man can identify as a female on his state records and his birth certificate, the more they're going to try to keep accessing women's spaces. Self-ID allows trans-identifying males access to women's washrooms, changing rooms, shelters, prisons, and rape centers. In California, over 300 trans-identifying men requested to be moved into a women's prison. Already, 43 requests have been approved this year, and more are under review. This is happening in states like New York, Illinois, California, New Jersey, and Washington. Last year, a woman was in a Central California women's facility and was raped by a trans-identifying male. That male rapist then went on to threaten other women in that same facility. That woman now suffers panic attacks daily. Another trans-identifying male who goes by the name Demi Minor, who was jailed for murdering his foster father, got 2 female inmates pregnant in a New Jersey women's prison last year. Making an exception for even one trans-identifying male into women's prisons and spaces will only raise the number of males who are looking to get out of the harshness of male lockups and spend their double-digit sentences in the company of women. Women's spaces are not a dumping ground for weak men. In the state of California, intact males only need to self-identify as women to request transfers. No hormones, no surgery needed. Most choose to keep their male genitalia and even still sport beards. And of almost 160,000 federal prison inmates, over 1,000 are males who identify as transgender, and nearly half of those males have a history of sexual offenses. And trans-identifying males also retain a male level of criminality, meaning that they are just as prone to male crimes, including violent and sexual crimes, more so than women, even after taking hormones and undergoing surgery. Please write your Florida State representative. Please press the importance of banning self-ID on all government forms, all government IDs, and all birth certificates. Thank you.
You got that? Yep. Thank you so much. Up next, Benwell, Alex, here we go.
Oh, yes. Here, you got this. I need to get my brother. So this is an email from a lady named Pacifica. She sent it so that her daughter's story could be told. It says, "Dear women, my 56-year-old daughter is a cousin of the niece of Charlotte Reed, one of the women murdered by Diana Rivers. At trial, the judge ruled that female pronouns had to be used as Rivers had requested. My daughter first became aware of this issue of preferred pronouns because of the trial. My daughter was recently in a mental health therapy program where the use of pronouns became an issue for her. The program has helped her find her voice and address negative thought patterns. She didn't feel comfortable with the insistence on the use of preferred pronouns and recognized it was compelled speech. She wrote to staff about her concerns and asked for a response. When they didn't respond, she wrote again.
Thank you.
And again, there was no response. Soon, after bringing up this issue, abruptly and without addressing her concerns and feelings about the policy, they claimed that she was not participating and told her that she had been dropped from the program. The name of this therapy program was L'Chaim of Oakland, California. I'm not looking for legal advice. I just wanted to point out how counterproductive and ironic it is to empower vulnerable patients to find their voice and stand up for their rights while simultaneously silencing them with a policy of compelled speech in relation to preferred pronouns, even when no patient or therapist in her group had an issue with their gender identity.
Do you have any suggestions about how to share this more widely within the gender critical community? Thank you, Pacifica Gale. And you can reach out to us if you have any more information for her, what she can do. You can reach me at pinwheelart@themaxnews.com. And yeah, so
Plug your art.
oh, and I'm an artist and I'm work on stickers to spread our message. So if you also want to reach me for that, you can email me at the same email or reach me on Twitter at pinwheel_art. Thank you.
Atta girl. Pass it on to her. There we go. You want to go? What? All right, you'll be after Kelly. You got it, honey. Heard. Gotcha.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kelly Kay, and this is just a reminder that the Pride movement has nothing to do with pride. With the upcoming month of June being Pride Month, we see rainbows and trans acceptance sections pushing a harmful agenda down their consumers' throats. And that's exactly what anyone is in this movement, a consumer, just a giant cash cow. Pride Month and its movement isn't about kindness and inclusion. It's not about acceptance and love. It's been dressed up by the media as something good for us. This movement is rotting our society. Let me make this clear. There is no pride in grooming children to believe that they are born in the wrong body. There is no pride in showing pornographic books to children at school in the name of queerness. There is no pride in mutilating and sterilizing a whole generation of kids to fit a gender stereotype. There is no pride in dismantling women's sex-based rights. There is no pride in allowing males in female-only spaces. There is no pride in allowing males to steal the deserving titles of women in sports. There is no pride in creating lifelong medical patients for a giant profit. There is no pride in compelled speech and forcing others to use gender pronouns. There is no pride in violence. There is no pride in child sex abuse. There is no pride in sex discrimination. And there is no pride in a blatant lie. Humans cannot change sex, period. Telling this obvious truth isn't hate speech. The Pride movement wants your money, and they want you afraid. They want you to be afraid of standing up for your rights as parents, as women, as American citizens. They want you scared to offend anyone with false vocabulary. They want your speech compelled, and they want you punished for speaking the truth. They want the path of least resistance so they can further push this sick agenda. Don't allow these corporations to trap you in their web of lies. Recognize this Pride movement for what it really is, a harmful lie. Boycott when you can. Ask questions, even if they're the wrong questions, and never stop telling the truth. It's time we reject this pride and we start fighting to protect women and children. When you walk into the next store with rainbows vomited all over the place, slapped with slogans that say trans people exist, remember this. It's all a lie. Those corporations don't care about you or anybody else. They care about their profits. In the wake of all this gender bullshit, stand up and stand firm in the truth. Reject the lie and embrace reality. Thank you.
Thank you, darling. I'll take that. Come close to the podium, baby, right here. There you go. Perfect. Go for it. Huh? I guess not. I appreciate that.
So, masks. Different people wear different masks. And masks are used to cover up things that they don't want you to see. People wear different masks. Some people wear masks to cover up sadness. Some people wear masks to cover up evil. I've uncovered quite a few masks in my
life so far. And it was scary. And sometimes you won't like what you see under the mask. But it's better to let the mask see what it truly is under it than to continue looking at the mask in a fantasy world that could potentially be harming you without you knowing. I've uncovered masks of people I love, friends, family, and even enemies. And it was scary, but it's better to see something for what it really is than for something that's not. And overall, I have to say.
Atta girl. All right. You want?
Oh, I could go. Yeah. Somebody want to take this sign?
Yes, ma'am.
Sophia.
We're in your way. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. So this. All right. So, all right. I'm angry. I'm angry that I have to take time out of my life to fight something so obviously harmful and illogical. I'm angry that this insanity has taken all my energy and attention, because if I do not fight against it, I only see an abysmal future for my soon-to-be 5 children. I'm angry that it has caused a divide in my life with those who I love most and those who have claimed they love me. But now it is as if they have not one critical thinking cell in their minds. I'm angry about all the lies. I'm angry about the lack of child safeguarding and the harm to women being ignored and suppressed. I'm angry that I spent all my life fighting for women and children, and one twisted ideology is destroying so much progress. I'm angry that I'm not able to work on my path to supporting women in childbirth and mothering, because this issue must be addressed first. I'm angry that I've been taken away from creating art depicting women in all their power. I'm angry that I'm distracted from my goals of enveloping myself in the wisdom of plant medicine. I will not let this anger be in vain, for this is righteous anger, and I will use it to continue the fight for women and children. I will not let this sick society destroy everything women and LGBT individuals and groups fought for over the decades. This ideology is taking us backwards, as well as to a place like none we have ever seen before. I'm going to use the fire this injustice has lit within me and fight until we are no longer seeing children butchered and women ignored. But right now, I'm going to go home and take time to nurture myself and the life growing within my womb, as only a woman can do. I'm going to go home and prepare for my labor dance, as only a woman can do. I'm going to feel the power of the universe flow through me as I bring forth life, as only a woman can do. I'm going to birth my baby, as only a woman can do. I'm going to build a unique, life-sustaining organ called the placenta, as only a woman can. And then I'm going to bring my baby to my breast and provide her with colostrum, that liquid gold which sets my baby on a healthy path, as only a woman can. I'm going to lay with my baby and help her complete her development through the mom and baby dyad, as only a woman can. I'm going to lay with my baby and sustain that life with my body, as only a woman can. I'm going to raise another powerful female to continue the fight, as only a woman can. Thank you. And please reach out so more women can connect and continue fighting this existential threat that is gender ideology industry. It is an industry. It is about money. It is about power. It is about destroying us. You can reach me at pinwheelart at bmaxnews.com or find me on Twitter at pinwheel_art. I also, as I said before, have stickers to spread the message. And also, if you want to organize your own event, we can get you connected with women in your area. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a great day.
Thank you. Thank you, Alex. As always, incredible. Maybe. Okay, thank you. I actually want to help launch an app for lesbians. Thanks to our two hiding in the corner who are too scared. I'll be the face for them. We love you. Thank you. They are going to be launching a new app for women, lesbians, real lesbians, adult human females who love other adult human females, not men with lady feels and a skirt and fake tits. We are not here to validate your fetish. Keep your fetish to yourself, preferably not even to yourself. So, ladies and gentlemen, follow the new social app, Twitter, V4V Social, Facebook, and Instagram. Come support lesbians. I know I'm looking for one. All right, up next, we got B.
Yes. Woo! Anyway, here I am today, our team of Women Speak Florida, to encourage women to speak out while we still can, before it's hate speech, to stand up and say simple truths like 2 + 2 does not equal 5, up isn't down, and no lesbian wants or has a penis.
Right here. Come closer. There you go.
Bad enough, women's words are treated like they're violence to hurt some man's feelings. Because men want to silence us and erase us, while male violence is diminished and blamed on us. Trans ideology and self-ID has framed flashers, rapists, child predators as victim class, while women are canceled for expressing safeguarding concerns during complaints and threatening us for fighting for our rights to say no and no more. It's women's voices that are no longer heard in conversations about our rights on feminism or even lesbianism. No men will ever. Men have been given special privileges to mansplain over even our own periods, rewarded with $1 million sponsorships to talk about their mockery of girlhood. This insanity must end. Men cannot become women any more than I can outrun a speeding bullet. No, only sick society will promote that we deny this very truth of our existence, that only women can give birth. We are all born from a woman, and that is the very first experience we all have. Now men who have even fathered children want to take credit and fetishize giving birth without ever facing the possibility of pregnancy. This is a great dishonor to their mothers and a total disrespect to all women. What does a man know about the female experience? I'll tell you this, next to nothing. It's simply an impossibility. The way that goldfish cannot conceive of a life outside of swimming in the water. No human being can change sex. This is a falsehood. No matter how many times they repeat trans women are women, they remain men. Even if he has inverted his penis and grown moves, that is just a man who's castrated himself in the extreme name of fetish and cosmetic cosplay. Women, it's time to stop fearing being called unkind, a bigot, a turf, a man-hater. No, it's our rights, safety, and lives on the line. Embrace your truth with your own eyes. Embrace the rage. Stop spreading the lies that you are just a vulva owner, a breeder, a fuckhole, an idea in some man's head that he gets to define as he chooses. And your reality doesn't even deserve a word that unifies you as an adult human female.
Yes.
I couldn't get short because it's great.
So, we got one last quick speech. Okay. And right here for me. I got you. You can do it. Okay, so this trans shit is an attempt to re-medicalize homosexuality. The true existential attack is on my people, my community, the next generation of us. One group is under
medical violent attack. It's mainly lesbians, but all homosexuals. Until 1992, which might have been before you were born, but really was not that long ago, lesbian women were incarcerated, forced to undergo electric shock treatment, aversion therapy, and even suffered surgical cutting of the clitoris, FMT, right? Today, lesbian girls and women are subject to surgical violation of their bodies and chemicals to sterilize them. In the 1950s, gay men were given Lupron to chemically sterilize them. In 2020, gay children who cannot consent are given Lupron to chemically sterilize them. Homophobia is writ deep within the trans activist movement, such a progressive movement. Most of you, either because you are too young or because you are or have been straight your entire lives, have either no idea or have suppressed your early memories of how deep and vile hatred of homosexuals abundantly thrived in our country. So deep the lavender fear and hatred, not only can you see this is a blatant heterosexual domination under the new umbrella with a smoother, more powerful propaganda shtick. You embrace all the time long weaponized practices of patriarchy, the silencing, canceling, attacking, controlling, dominating at best those few women, lesbian or straight, who have the courage to stand up for women and girls. It's the same old familiar, comfortable for the establishment tune with different words. That's it. All right. Take these. Sure. Thanks, Lou.
Thank you, Dawn. I appreciate that. So before I forget, I want to do a quick shout out to Keep Prison Single Sex, Partners for Ethical Care, SexSegregatedPrisons.org, the 11th Hour blog, Our Duty, Kate Yang, and StopHumiliration.com. Also, everybody, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, our Twitter page, and Instagram and Getter. Also, do not forget to subscribe to Yvette's Substack, Embrace the Rage.
And write to your representative.
What? Oh, there's something being handed out. Also, reach out to your state representative. It's very important. Let them know you don't respect my sex, you don't get my ex. All right? Thank you. Good night.
All right, so that's the end of the Women Speak Florida event, Jacksonville. Thank you so much for tuning in and have a wonderful evening, everyone. Ciao.